Hi, welcome to Let's Table It. I'm Sarah, and today I'll be teaching you how to play the 2 to 5 player game Holiday Hills, designed by Chris Porter, illustrated by Pretty Useful, and published by Chris Couch Games. Let's learn how to play. As a member of the Holiday Hills Tinsel Task Force, you're a little behind on decorating Jingle Bell Square for the holiday season, and Mayor Holly Days is not happy. You'll have to race around town gathering presents, ornaments, candy canes, lights, and trees to make sure the holiday spirit stays alive. The copy of Holiday Hills you're seeing today is a prototype copy with 3D printed components. The final production will have screen-printed wooden components. And because this is a prototype, some components, rules, and other aspects of the game may change in the final production. To set up the game, place the town board in the center of the player area, light blue side up. The town board contains Jingle Bell Square in the center, 4 streets along the edges, and 4 cottages on each corner. Next, shuffle the objective cards and deal 2 to each player. Place the remaining cards face down within reach of all players and reveal 4 cards face up to form the display. You may choose to omit the string light objective cards for an easier version of the game. Place the finish line card near the display. Place all dice presents near the town board, also within reach of all players. Now each player selects a player color, taking the matching reference card, sleigh, ornaments, candy canes, and string lights. Set each player's sleigh on its matching cottage facing clockwise around the board. Each player then takes 5 trees from the tree supply and places 5 stars matching their player color on top, then places one of their trees in the matching plot in Jingle Bell Square. Then fill in any other tree plots with starless trees. Set any extra trees to the side for later use. Now we're ready to play. The player who set up their Christmas decorations the earliest is the first player. Alternatively, you can roll the dice to determine the first player. Each game of Holiday Hills consists of 1 full lap around the town board. You'll push your sleigh around town, visiting neighbors' homes to borrow decorations, all while collecting and delivering dice presents. Each turn consists of 2 phases, move and take actions. To move, you'll choose either the top or bottom path. The top path provides more opportunities to collect presents, while the bottom lets you deliver the presents in your sleigh. You are allowed to move as far along your chosen path as you'd like, up to the next cottage. When you reach your chosen action space, park your sleigh there. Only 1 sleigh can occupy each action space at a time. If you catch up to another player, you must either stay behind them or pass them on the street. In the Take Actions phase, first collect any dice presents that match the icons you passed over during your move phase, rolling them and placing them into your sleigh, or deliver the number of dice presents indicated by the icons you passed over to one of the 4 available spaces under any player's tree. But there must be a tree available to deliver a present. Each sleigh can only hold up to 2 dice presents at a time, so be careful about which action spaces you choose on your turn. Finally, it's time to decorate. Each action space indicates the components you'll add from your supply to Jingle Bell Square. Icons include trees, ornaments, candy canes, and string lights. You'll add any indicated trees to open plots. You'll add ornaments, candy canes, and string lights to open spaces on trees. You can place your decorations on any player's trees as long as there are open spaces. Candy canes and ornaments each take up 1 space on a tree, while string lights take up 2, 1 on each of 2 orthogonally adjacent trees. You are allowed to rotate trees around to open up a spot for string lights, but once a tree has string lights attached to it, it can no longer rotate. When your sleigh reaches the end of the street, stop at the cottage for a break. Deliver any presents in your sleigh and gain a new objective card from the display. The end game is triggered when 1 player makes it back to their cottage. The first players to arrive back home will score extra cheer points by placing their sleigh on the finish line card as they finish the game. When the last player arrives back to their cottage, proceed to endgame scoring. Each player will score 8 points for the trees with their color star that are fully decorated and have no empty spots. Each player's tree will also score 10 points if it is festive and has no empty dice present spots. Next, take a look at each tree. The player with the most decorations on each tree will score the highest die present under that tree. The player with the next most decorations on that tree will score the next highest die under that tree, continuing until all players with decorations on the tree have points from a die, or until there are no more dice. Majority ties are friendly, and each tied player gains the full points. Now it's time to score those objective cards. Decoration objectives are about placing decorations of your player color in specific patterns around the board. You'll score points for how many of the decorations you are able to place in that pattern. Dice present objectives score points for matching the colors of the dice presents shown on the card to one of your trees in Jingle Bell Square, gaining points for each color you match. String light objectives score points for matching the pattern shown on the card, again scoring points for each part of the pattern you are able to complete. Finally, add in any points earned on the finish line cards. The player with the most points wins. In the event of a tie, the player who has the least decorations left in their inventory wins. If still tied, the player who scored the most dice presents wins. If still tied, the player who arrived back at their cottage the earliest is declared the winner. And that's how you play the nice mode of Holiday Hills. If you'd like a more tactical and, dare I say, meaner version of the game, keep watching for the naughty mode. Holiday Hills contains several modes, mini-expansions, and variants to keep the game fresh. Let's take a closer look at the naughty mode, a more strategic way to play. To play the naughty mode of Holiday Hills, first use the dark blue side of the town board. Next, you'll place all 25 trees in the plots of the town board without any stars placed on top. Play proceeds as it does in the nice mode of play with some more complex action space decisions. This action space allows you to choose one of the indicated decorations to add to Jingle Bell Square. This one lets you choose either one string light or both an ornament and a candy cane. This action space allows you to either choose a new objective card or add an ornament and a candy cane to Jingle Bell Square. This space lets you swap any ornament or candy cane with another ornament or candy cane already placed in Jingle Bell Square. Finally, this symbol lets you swap any string lights with another string light in Jingle Bell Square. The other difference in the naughty mode is that trees are earned based on the player who is able to fill the final spot on that tree. That player will put their color star on that tree and score points for it at the end of the game. Each player has 6 stars to potentially place on the board. The end of the game and scoring for the naughty mode are identical to the nice mode. To play the game at 2 players, simply use all 6 stars instead of 5 in the nice mode. There are no adjustments to the naughty mode for 2 players. To add in a 5th player to Holiday Hills, use the green player components. The 5th green player uses wheelbarrows instead of sleighs. Their wheelbarrows start at each green cabin connected to each cottage in the corners of the board, and will be removed from the game when they reach the next cabin at the end of the street. Each wheelbarrow can only hold 1 dice present, but the green player can move along any street they choose, still moving clockwise. Other than the setup, follow all other nice or naughty mode rules. The Skill Tree Mini Expansion adds in special actions that can be taken as players achieve certain goals throughout the game. To set up this expansion, use the back side of your player aid and cover the goal spaces above the tree with each of the bells with your player color bow. The goals include having 1 and 3 festive trees, which are trees with all dice present spots filled, and having 1, 3, and 4 completely decorated trees with no empty spaces in Jingle Bell Square. When you have achieved one of the goals, move the corresponding bell to one of the rewards. There are 2 instant actions. Swap up to 2 objective cards from your hand with cards in the display, and swap 1 decoration from a tree with your color star with a decoration from any tree. There are 3 ongoing abilities. The ability to share action spaces with other sleighs, adding 1 to your roll when you collect dice presents, and re-rolling collected dice presents. If you manage to unlock all 5 rewards, you'll score an additional 10 points at the end of the game. For a shorter game, you can add 1 closed tile to each street. Players will choose which space on a street to close. This action space is no longer available to park on for this game, eliminating up to 5 turns. Holiday Hills is designed to be approachable for all players. If you would like to scale down the difficulty for younger or less experienced gamers, remove all objective cards from the game. Instead of choosing a path when you move along the street, push your sleigh in a straight line, stopping to park in your chosen action space and activating any or all dice present icons you pass along the way. And that should cover many ways to enjoy Holiday Hills. With its nice and naughty modes, skill tree mini expansion, and ways to scale the game for differing player counts and skill levels, Holiday Hills has a lot to offer. And if you're still wanting more content, check out the Santa and Krampus double expansion, Wreaths and Wonders expansion, Let It Snow promo with Snow Meeples, and Chimney Dice Tower. If you have any questions about Holiday Hills, please leave a comment and I'll respond as best I can. If you'd like more board game reviews, lists, and how to plays, make sure you're subscribed to Let's Table It. Thanks for watching.